All right, I've been really excited to dive into this one. Today, we're going to break down the contemporary comedy Four Couples, One Table. It's a fantastic, funny, and surprisingly sweet story all about friendship, change, and, the families we actually choose for ourselves. Let's jump right in.
Okay, so get this. The entire story, everything happens right here. This is our battlefield. One single, perfectly kept home that belongs to Thomas and Joanne McCready. And it all kicks off on New Year's Eve, which, as we all know, is the perfect recipe for a night no one's going to forget. So, first things first, let's meet our core group. They've got this name for themselves, the Rounders. And they earned it by, and this is true, literally surviving 3 hurricanes together. Right away, that tells you everything you need to know. This isn't just a group of friends, they're a tight-knit circle, held together by some pretty intense experiences and their own special kind of crazy.
And what a mix of personalities, right? You've got Thomas, who is absolutely obsessed with his real estate career, and his wife Joanne, the host, who is fiercely protective of her home and her friends. Then we have Rex, the super cautious retired cop, and his wife Mary, the group's hyper-organizer. And you can't forget Tom, the dramatic actor of the bunch, and Michelle, the realist who is never, ever afraid to say exactly what's on her mind.
And speaking of Thomas, you are going to want to remember this line. Seriously, get used to hearing it because it's his signature catchphrase. It's the setup for half the jokes in the story, and the others have turned it into this whole group participation thing.
So the friendly, easy vibe of the group is about to face a major test. And it all starts when Mary, our self-appointed social director, decides to invite some of her old friends from back in Kansas City. But here's the thing about Mary. She doesn't just invite people. No, she manages them. She has a very particular process.
And this right here, this is the heart of the whole conflict. You've got two completely opposite ways of thinking about a party. On one side, there's Joanne, the actual host, who thinks you just need to relax and go with the flow. But on the other side is Mary, who wants to run the entire night like a Chamber of Commerce event. I mean, she literally has a handbook for it.
And boom, here's the spark. Mary just goes ahead and tells the new couple, the Wagners, what time they should arrive to a party at Joanne's house. Can you believe that? She's scheduling the guests for a party she's not even hosting?
Joanne's reaction is, well, it's quick. And this quote pretty much says it all. She puts her foot down and makes it crystal clear that her home is for her friends to relax in, not some corporate venue that runs on a minute-by-minute schedule.
So with all this tension simmering under the surface, the whole evening just starts to spiral into this absolutely hilarious and beautiful chaos. And it's all fueled by a few very key and very funny ingredients.
And the best part is just watching it all build. It's this perfect storm of weirdness. You have Thomas mixing these experimental and apparently glowing cocktails. Mary's precious schedule is being completely ignored. Tom's having these dramatic Shakespearean meltdowns. There's this poor woman, LaDonna, who just wants to tell a story about flamingos and keeps getting cut off. And then there's Rex, just trying to survive it all with his personal bottle of bourbon.
Okay, we have to talk about Thomas's drinks. He gives them these absolutely wild names with a ton of flair. I mean, a Category 5 Collins for a group of people who are actual hurricane survivors? You've got to admire the boldness.
And you want to know the secret ingredient for all these amazing drinks? It's always, and I mean always, some kind of ridiculously cheap discount booze. And he is so proud of it, he'll actually announce the price of the bottle, much to the terror of his friends who have to, actually drink the stuff.
This is just the perfect visual for the whole story, isn't it? On one side, you've got Mary's rigid, orderly handbook. On the other, Thomas's chaotic, glowing, who knows what's in it cocktails. That's the battle right there. Structured order versus spontaneous, joyful chaos.
So the big moment finally arrives when the new couple, the Wagners, actually show up. And guess what? They're early, completely torpedoing Mary's carefully constructed plans and throwing her whole schedule right out the window. But here's the twist, and it's a great one. Instead of creating some awkward disaster, Herb and LaDonna Wagner just get it. They jump right into the chaos with both feet. They don't just put up with the group's weird energy, they absolutely thrive in it. They're naturals. And just like that, in a single moment, the whole dynamic of the group shifts. It's not 3 couples and 2 outsiders anymore. All of a sudden, it's just 8. 8 friends all together. And you know the exact moment it solidifies? It's when Herb and LaDonna, the newcomers, join in perfectly with Thomas's signature catchphrase. That's it. That's the real initiation. By getting the inside joke, they officially become part of the inside. And in that moment of shared laughter, watching everyone connect, Mary finally lets go. You can almost see her just drop the binder and give up on the schedule. She realizes her rigid plans were never going to be a match for the wonderful, unpredictable nature of real friendship.
So, after all that chaos, what are we supposed to take away from this wild New Year's Eve party? What does it all really mean? Well, at its core, this story is reminding us of something pretty simple. The strongest connections we have aren't built on rules or rigid plans. They're built in shared experiences, in spontaneous moments, and in just completely accepting each other's quirks, glowing cocktails and all. And that's really what being a rounder is all about. It's about finding your chosen family. It's about finding the people who will stick with you through any kind of storm, whether that's a Category 5 hurricane or just a really, really terrible homemade cocktail. And that really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? The story suggests that real friendship thrives in those messy, unplanned, and often ridiculous moments. So it makes you ask yourself, who are the rounders in your life? And maybe more importantly, are you leaving enough room for the unexpected and for the flamingo stories?